Hey guys, welcome back. So we are going to look at 3 words today. But before we delve into that, I would like to shout out to Uncle Greg. Happy birthday. Love you. Leonard Skinner, just for you. Anyway, our 3 words today are going to be can't versus won't versus unable. So I was talking with a friend of mine this morning, and both of us have had communications with another person today in which we had to express our inability to meet the other person's request. When you are recovering from codependency, I will refer to myself now as a recovering codependent. The word no is frightening, to say the least. As a codependent, you have a tendency to try to give everybody what they need, what they want, what they ask for. And it's not even a need thing, right? It's just even if they want it and you're in a position to do or give whatever it is they're asking, you somehow feel obligated to say yes. So saying no can be crippling for someone like me. And especially if you're in a position to meet the request. I mean, that just makes it even worse. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of the whys that is, other than the fact that you spent your whole life saying yes. So saying no is next to impossible. And you start out with saying no and giving a bunch of reasons why you can't, right? Even if they're lies. And then you feel bad for lying, and it becomes a whole thing. Anyway, or you say, no, I can't do that. Well, the other person may have knowledge that proves that you can. And now you're a liar. And now you can't be trusted. And now they think, well, if you can, and you're telling me you can't, then you're probably saying you won't, which would have probably been better to just say that to begin with. But then you open yourself up to the whole argument thing, right? So I had actually discussed this with my therapist. Like, how do you do this? Because clearly I have no idea. And her answer to me was, no is a complete sentence. Who knew? I didn't know that. I was never taught that before. So when no is not accepted, I guess, by the person requesting whatever it is they're requesting, then that's when we get into these words like can't, won't, or unable to. Now, unable to is not something I use ever, probably. And the friend I was talking to actually used that word. And his person that was asking him for whatever it was he was asking for said, so you mean you won't? And his answer was, no, I didn't say I wouldn't, and I didn't say I couldn't. I said I'm unable to. And left it at that. And when he was recounting this to me, the way he explained it to me was, I am the only person that can determine whether or not I have the ability to do something. Nobody can argue that. If you say won't, now you look like an asshole, right? If you say can't, they can argue it. So, interesting choice of words. So, if you're not new to my channel, then you know what's going to happen next, right? I'm going to look up the word unable and get that definition, which means not able, obviously incapable, such as unqualified, incompetent, helpless. I don't necessarily think that we're trying to convey that we're incompetent. Maybe we are. I don't know. Or helpless or unqualified. Maybe unqualified. I don't know. I'm going to click on incompetent and see what we get with that. Obviously, lacking the qualities needed for the effective action. Unable to function properly. Not legally qualified, inadequate to or unsuitable for a particular purpose. Now that I like, I can get on board with that. the inadequate to or unsuitable for a particular purpose, because that leaves it subjective. I mean, yeah, subjective. Yeah, subjective. A person can't argue back that you are suitable for a particular purpose, whatever it is they're asking, because that is a matter of opinion, right? Whereas can't would be a matter of black and white, right? The unable to is kind of a gray shaded area that you can work with. I look up can't, and of course I get cannot. Let's look up won't. I mean, I think we all know can't implies a a physical ability on whether or not you can or can't do that, right? I'm going to use the example of if somebody asks me to borrow my car. Well, obviously I could say, no, you can't. And that's defining a rule. Okay, so that's black and white, right? It's yes or no. It's not. Or you could say, I won't let you use my car. And now you look like the jerk who's saying, I could, but I won't. Like, I have the ability to, but I don't want to. Which can lead to feelings of unworthiness, I guess. Like, well, why not? Why won't you let me use your car? And then you get into this whole debate, and you've got to come up with reasons and blah, blah, blah. And the definition of won't is will not. Okay, we might have to go deeper on those. But when you say, I'm unable to lend you my car, well, why are you unable? Well, in my head, I'm unable to lend you my car because I don't trust you're not going to wreck it. In their head, well, they're unable to lend me their car. I'm not sure if that means can't or if it means won't, but I don't really want, I don't know. I guess it's more acceptable on their side to take that unable to as opposed to can't or won't. I'm going to look up can. And it's not really helping me. This dictionary is just not working with me on this definition of cannot. Unable to be unable to do otherwise than. I don't like that definition. That doesn't leave a lot there. Cannot, to be unable to do otherwise than. We cannot but wonder why. I cannot help feeling sorry for them. So it implies an innate ability, I guess. Whereas unable to, I guess, still implies the ability, but a little less severe, maybe? Incapable. Lacking capacity, ability, qualification. Not able to take in, hold, or keep. Not receptive. That's interesting. Maybe instead of unable, you say incapable. The advantage there is now you've used a word that has several syllables, so they have to stop and think about it. They've got to take time to decipher what that means to them, right? So that's when we get back into this whole subconscious thing. When my friend told me he had said he was unable to do that, it caught my attention because it's not a word I'm used to using or used to hearing even. And anything that catches our attention like that is gaining our reaction, not from our subconscious. You know, we're not going to walk around and just react the way we always react to words we always hear. And we're going to be present in the moment now. And we're going to react now. We're not going to react to the situation as it happened that we were trained to react to, right? A lot of times in, at least in my life, I catch myself responding to whatever it is I think is coming as opposed to what's actually coming. I caught myself doing that with this very same friend the other day. We'd gotten involved in a discussion and back and forth. And I was presenting my side of a situation where I was trying to process, and it got personal, right? It got personal because he, for whatever reason, it got personal. So I made a comment that I thought he may or may not take offense to this, right? And the response back that I got was very flat. It was very, I'm tired. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Well, I responded to that with, let's just not talk for a couple days. My initial, as a recovering codependent, it's a possible conflict, right? So I am not willing to go down that road anymore. Well, as it turns out, the next day we talked again, and as a matter of fact, his response that I assumed was the flat and offended response was not actually him being offended. He just said, so, I've had some sleep. Let's talk again. Let's pick up where we left off. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I said, I thought you were kind of pissed off about my last statement there. And he was like, no, I was just really tired and was done for the day and tabled it for tomorrow. I responded to what I thought was coming, what I had been conditioned to expect from that person, instead of staying present and taking the words at face value, not trying to find the meaning underneath them, etc. I don't know how that could have gone better, other than to say I didn't respond to the now situation. I responded to a situation from years ago, and didn't give that person the credit for not being the same person as they were years ago. I know I'm not the same person as I was years ago, and it's really unfair of me to expect that I'm the only person that is that way. At any rate, as a long-winded way of saying that, when we use words that we're not used to, it does actually keep us present in the moment. It keeps us more aware of current situations, as opposed to reliving past events and kind of jumping to conclusions or assuming. And we can get into all those words, present, assuming, jumping to conclusions, right? And I'm sure at some point on the channel we will discuss those things. But so a few things with the can't, won't, and unable to, or even incapable of. Use words that are not common, I guess is where I'm going with it. And use words that are accurate, right? If you can do something and you don't want to, don't say you can't, because that's basically a lie. If you can, but you don't feel it's within your boundaries to do so, then it is absolutely okay to say you're unable to. I am unable to let you cross my boundaries. I'm unable to cross them for you, because I have too much respect for myself to do so. Or, if you're a little more, I wouldn't say confrontational, but if you're a little more, I don't know what the right word is, but if you're in a different mood, you don't want to say incapable or unable, and you straight up just don't want to, and you're okay with that person, internalizing it or whatever, and not really sensitive to how that might sound, or you're just straight up, maybe you're busy or quick, whatever. It doesn't matter. Either way, won't is an option. No, I'm not going to lend you my car, and walk away. I mean, it's kind of shitty. It is. It's kind of mean. It's without empathy. It's without compassion. But it's honest, right? It's honest. So at the end of the day, if we can show a little bit of honesty, not a little bit, a complete honesty with some compassion, and use words that are not common, I think we keep everybody present in the present moment. Reactions are more responses. Yeah, I don't know. We will solicit a response instead of a reaction. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And on the other side of the coin, when we are the ones that are responding and not reacting, then communication just can get so much better between two people. And all it takes is one little tweak of a word, and keeping us present in our conscious mind, and aware of what's happening now, and not subconsciously revisiting things from the past and rehashing those arguments, or visiting wounds from the past, and creating a huge amount of assumptions and miscommunications, which, as we all know, is at the heart of miscommunication, is the assumptions and the reactions. I have often told the people around me, when I feel like I'm not being listened to or not being heard, or if they respond while I'm still talking, that one blows my mind. Not even gonna lie on that one. And I'm sure I'm an offender of it, right? But there's people who listen to hear, and there's those that listen to respond. So be a person that listens to hear. So I challenge you, the next time you have to say no to somebody, play with the different words and see what kind of different reactions you get with that. And let me know in the comments below. Until then, we'll talk soon. Grow your words and taste your language. Bye for now.